So I used to be a shy, skinny, insecure nerd, basically. I used to just play video games all day and couldn't really make conversations with people, especially in group settings, but one-on-one was even worse, bro. I'd go up to someone, ask them how their day's going. They'd reply and say, yeah, it's good, thanks, how are you? I'd be like, yeah, my day's going well. Conversation dead. I wouldn't know what else to say. I'd have nothing to talk about. I didn't want to say anything just in case I made a mistake and embarrassed myself. It was terrible. I was awful. Now, however, today at 23 years old, I'm traveling the world. I'm here in Thailand at the moment. I can make friends like that. Literally every single place that I go to, I'm that guy that's social, that's charismatic. I can meet people. I can make friends anywhere that I go. You know, I walk into a gym. By the end of the day, I know everyone there. And they're all my mates. And I'll see them again the next day. Be like, all right, mate, how you doing? Yeah, friends with everyone. Now, how did I go from the shy, skinny nerd to the person that's able to literally make friends anywhere in the world of any person? And I'm talking literally anyone. The crackhead hobo you see on the street, all the way up to some CEO of $1 million business, right? You've got to be a social chameleon. That's what I like to call it. Now, I teach you how to do this full process of going from shy nerd to social chameleon in my School of Life. You can find that down below. Plug aside, there are 3 main things that I'm going to teach you in this video. The last one is the absolute best, so make sure you stay in, make sure you're paying attention, turning the comments off, test yourself for once, right? You want to be better at life, you want to get better at becoming a man. How are you going to be able to do that if you can't even sit still for 10 minutes and just listen to someone talk and give you advice that's going to change your life without scrolling down to the comments? Just sit, chill out, grab some popcorn, relax, and just listen. Take in the information into your brain properly and implement it, and I guarantee you'll never have to worry about being that socially awkward guy ever again. First tip is you need to assume that everybody's your friend. So I was out in Bangkok with my girlfriend, her friend, loads of other friends, right? We went to this DJ set / club kind of thing. And after this thing finished, I was sitting down on this little sofa thing outside. It was beautiful. Bangkok's amazing, bro. There's this little sofa thing outside. We had this nice tree in the middle of it. Nice vibes, red lights and shit. So I was sitting down, my girlfriend's next to me, her friends are over there talking, and then this DJ guy comes in, another DJ that I haven't met previously. I never met him before. He's from UK as well, so, you know, instantly we could get along very easily like that. But he just came in, he was, all right, mate, what's your name? Shook my hand, I said, I'm Luke, nice to meet you. He told me his name, and then he sat down next to me, we just started talking. We just started talking about life, entrepreneurship, business, what he wanted to do for a living. You know, how long has he been in Thailand for? Does he like it? What made him leave the UK? Just random different shit. And I could sit and just talk to this random guy for hours. I've never even met him. It's the first time I met this guy. Now, the reason I was able to do this and the reason I'm able to literally replicate that same conversation, I wish I recorded it because it was like perfect social skills interaction kind of shit. I could have put it on YouTube, but never mind. The reason I was able to do this because, number one, I assume that everyone's my friend. I can do this with anybody. And what I used to do, this was a mistake I used to make, was I used to walk down the street. I'm from the UK, I'm from Manchester, and I grew up in a very rough area. I grew up in a council estate, basically the ghetto for any Americans that are watching this. And it's not nice. You walk down the street and everyone wants to stab you, everyone's a hostile, everyone's a threat. This is why Thailand's so amazing, because you walk down the street here, and not only are you bigger than everyone, which is great first and foremost, but everyone's just so friendly. It's the land of the smiles for a reason. No one's harmful here. So you walk down the street, everyone's hostile. You instantly in the back of your mind assume these people don't want to talk to me, these people don't like me, these people are a threat, they're a hostile, and it puts you into an anti-social mindset. All that you want to do is get out of the situation. So what you need to do is reverse engineer that. You need to flip it in your mind and assume with the correct mindset that everyone is your friend. Everyone is willing to talk to you and everyone is going to like you. Now, I know this is not logically or physically true. Of course, not everyone wants to be your friend. Not everyone is going to like you. But the mindset of thinking like that enables you to go into every single social situation with confidence, openness, the willingness to talk and tell stories, because I never used to tell stories or add in my input into conversations because I thought no one's going to care anyway. No one cares what I have to say. You can see how that mindset was so detrimental, whereas now if I walk around and I assume everyone wants to hear what I have to say, everyone wants to be my friend, everyone loves me, I walk around with that almost naive mindset, but it works because I go into every conversation with confidence, charisma, positive energy. I make people feel good when they're around me. They're almost taken aback by how energetic and alive I am in the conversation. I'll meet older people, for example. I'll go out with my girlfriend and her dad and her friends and everything, and these like older guys from the UK smoking cigarettes and just drinking beer all day. like, older individuals, and I can have a full-on conversation with these guys. I'm 23, and I can talk to them about life, about countries, about this political situation, this thing, this car, like just random shit. And I can see it in their eyes when they're talking to me. They're like, I've never met a 20-year-old, a 20-ish-year-old that is so engaging in a conversation. And it's because I just sit there and I just assume everyone's my friend. Now, this is going to put you in the best mindset possible. If for whatever reason you go into a conversation with this mindset and you approach someone that doesn't actually want to be your friend, or he's quite negative, or he clearly doesn't want to talk to you, that's fine. Don't take it personally. Don't hurt your ego. Don't feel like, well, fuck this, I'm never going to be social ever again. Take it on the chin and just move on to the next one. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. That's point number one. You can tell I'm in Bangkok. Point number two is that when you go into these conversations, you need to make sure that you are genuinely interested in the person you're talking to. Because so many people come to me when I do one-to-one coaching, basically, right? I'm a life coach, I guess you could say. So I just help people live a good life. I help people live like James Bond, dating, money, freedom, travel in the world, physique and health, like really, really good shit to make sure you've balanced out your entire life. Because I don't believe there's a point in being the fitness guy if you can't get laid. And there's no point having money if you're out of shape, right? You need everything. So that's what I teach. And I do one-to-one coaching alongside my school of life, which you can find down below. And sometimes I'll get clients and they'll come to me and they'll say, what's the best tip and trick for me to be more social? Like, how do I keep the conversation going? What do I say? How do I be a better conversationalist? The best way you can be a better conversationalist is by simply being interested in the other person and getting them to talk more than you talk. Practically every conversation I get into, the other person is talking more than me and I'm just sat listening. Being present, being attentive, and genuinely listening to what they say. And then once they've said something, I feed the conversation off of what they've said. So if I ask the DJ guy, how long have you been doing DJing for? And he says, I've been doing it for about 10 years now. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. What got you into it? Like, how did you get into that? Where did it all start? Cool. I'm taking something that he said because I'm listening and I'm asking him questions because I'm genuinely interested in what he has to say. Not just thinking about me and how I'm coming across and my ego and do people like me and what if that person's thinking this? Forget about yourself and focus the energy on other people. Ask them questions. When they give you the answer, listen so that you actually take in and you learn something about that person. This does two things. Number one, it makes them feel better talking to you. Like, wow, this guy actually listens, he's attentive. I like talking to this guy. It fuels my ego. Everyone likes talking about themselves. And if you can be a person that listens to someone when they talk about themselves, they're going to love you. That's number one. But number two, by having this mindset of just asking questions, listening, genuinely taking information, and you know what you can do? You can feed off of the conversation. You can actually have a good conversation. The problem most people make when they're socially anxious or when they just don't understand how to conversate properly, which is crazy. We live in a world where you have to teach people how to conversate. I was one of those people that had to be a student. I had to learn. I had to start at ground zero. So you can't lie to yourself and pretend you're better than you're not. If you have a weakness, you need to acknowledge it and you need to work on it. You need to become a student to one day be a master. You can't just jump straight to master. So you have to admit you've got the weakness. But the reason why this is such an amazing tool, being genuinely interested in other people, is because once they answer, you're not just replying for the sake of replying. You're not replying just so you can say you've got your word in and you're a good conversationalist. You're replying because you're genuinely interested in the person. I want to drill that into your mind. I genuinely care to some degree in this present moment, not in the grand scheme of life, but in this moment as I'm talking to this DJ guy, I care about his story. Tell me about it. I want to learn. I'm interested. How did you get into DJing? How long you been doing it for? That's amazing. You've been in do you live in Thailand? Yeah. How long you been living here for? Wow, bro, that's cool. I don't blame you. The weather's absolutely beautiful. The third point that I'm going to make, and this is very important, you don't just want to get into the mindset of being an interviewer. Guys will do this when they're on dates with women. They'll make a mistake of being like the guy that just asks all the questions. So step 2 is great, being genuinely interested, asking questions, getting to know them, feeding off of the conversation. These are amazing things, but if you take it too far and you don't have your own input, you're simply just an interviewer and you become quite boring, right? Guys will do that with women all the time and they wonder why they get blanked. They wonder why they get ghosted after the date's over because the woman's bored. I don't even know anything about you. You haven't said anything. You've got no personality, you've got no energy, right? So when you're in a conversation, when you're doing step 2, which is being genuinely interested, what you also need to do is feed off of what they've said and add your own input. Add your own stories, tell stories, and tell it with enthusiasm. I'll sit around a table with guys that are double my age. I'm 23. I'll sit at a table 40, 50, 60-year-olds. And I'll tell a story and I've got the whole table captivated. Everyone's listening. Everyone's genuinely interested in what happens next. Obviously, storytelling, that's a video for another day. We'll teach you how to tell good stories inside of my school of life. But if you have stories to tell, you're an interesting person, you've done things, you've lived life, you've been places, you've met people, you've gone through pain, heartbreak, negative things, scary things, dangerous things, but also good things as well. You've just lived life, right? If you're that guy, you can have inputs that you add in easily. The reason when I was 17, 18, I found it very hard to make conversation with people beyond how's your day going is because I had nothing to talk about. All I would do was sit inside and play video games. The fuck was I going to talk? Have you seen the new Call of Duty mission? Who cares, right? You need to have a life experience. You need to do things. So that's one of the biggest key takeaways to being an interesting and good conversationalist is just have things to talk about. And how do you have things to talk about? You just live more life. I've been to that restaurant, I've met those people, I once did this, I got into this situation, I fractured my wrist playing football with my uncle, I got this scar here on my wrist, this was from a fight where a guy bit me, like random shit, and that's true stories, by the way. So it makes you more of an interesting person when you've lived life. So a very simple way you can do that is just stop being so closed-minded and stop being so scared to get yourself out there. Even if, let's say you take a flight to a certain country you've never been before. I mean, I'll tell you this story right now. The first time I went to Thailand, 2 years ago, went to Thailand for the first time. I was broke back then. I just about made enough money to get the flight tickets and fly out to Thailand. But I had to pick the cheapest flight because I had no money. I still wanted to get out there though. So I booked the flight from Manchester, England to Frankfurt, Germany for the layover, right? Once I got to Germany, I then had to go from Germany to fucking New Delhi in India. And let me tell you, India is an absolute shithole. I'm never going there ever again in my entire life. And I'm sorry if I offend any Indian fans. I just don't like India. That's my opinion. So I ended up in New Delhi in India for 7 hours for this next layover before I could finally go from India to Thailand. I was stuck in India. This flight, bro, when I finally got on the India Airlines flight from New Delhi to Thailand, by the time we got to the Thai runway of the airport, he had to circle back 6 times over and over again because he kept missing the runway. This was my first time flying, my first time going abroad, the first time leaving the UK. And this is the experience I've got. I put it on myself because I booked the cheapest flight, but still, it's fucking wild. And by the time we finally landed, after doing 6 circles, you could see on the map, 6 circles that were over the runway over and over again without touching it. I'm like, bro, this guy can't fly a plane. I'll actually be probably better at flying this plane than whoever the fuck's flying this shit. What's he doing? Finally, he lands, and it's literally crash landed. I fucking hell. I thought we got fucking terrorist attacked or something. Genuinely, I had no idea what was going on. But anyway, that was my experience flying for the first time. Even though in the moment that was a negative experience, I can now tell that story, and it's something I can laugh about. It's just life lived. It's things that I've done. Even though it's embarrassing, even though it's not a fun experience in the moment, I ended up in fucking India, but it's just funny. You can talk about it in hindsight and it's funny. That's why living life is the cheat code to being a social master. You just need to do more. You're just boring. I'll be completely frank with you. You are boring. No one wants to listen to you because you've got nothing to talk about. And the way you talk about it is boring as well. Again, that's a video for another day, and we're going to talk about that in terms of tonality, storytelling, the way you say things, how you carry yourself, hand gestures, body language, right? All of these things I will teach you inside of the School of Life for literally $50 a month. That's like $1.60 a day, something like that. $1.60 a day is how much you'll be paying to get access to information that will literally turn you into James Bond at only 20 years old. That's a bargain, because you're going to be spending that on coffee or food or some bullshit anyway. You may as well spend it on something that's going to teach you how to make money, become more attractive to women, the women that you actually want, become more healthy and in good shape, travel the world with freedom and still make money while you're on the move. Everything I've done out here is paid for itself. It's all free because it's all an investment. So I'll teach you how to do that inside of my School of Life. But your tonality is very important as well. I can tell the most boring story in the world, but if I tell it with enthusiasm, I tell it like I want to tell the story, like I'm excited to tell the story, that's fun. People want to listen. A lot of the time, it's just how you talk, it's how you carry yourself that makes people pay attention to you, not anything else. No one really cares about what you tell. Like, bro, you could tell the boringest story. I met this girl in the gym once and this happened. No one gives a shit. It doesn't make any difference to anyone's life. It doesn't inspire anyone. It's just some funny, embarrassing story about how you got rejected in the gym by some girl. But you tell it in a way that's like, the delivery of it is funny. It's entertaining to listen to. That's all you need to do. All right? If you want to master your social skills, on a full-on step-by-step breakdown. We will teach you how to do that inside of my School of Life. Get in today. You can surround yourself with over 100 men and women just like yourself who are ambitious. They're trying to live a good life. They're trying to make money. And I mean, practically everyone in there is making money. As soon as you join, you'll be presented with me and my team. We will show you in the right direction to make money, become more charismatic, confident, just James Bond, dress better, style, everything you need to know. It's all in there. Self-defense guides, we've got it all, okay? Get yourself inside there. Come and learn from a school that's actually going to teach you how to live a good life rather than just algebra and fucking religious studies, just bullshit. Come and join a school that's actually going to teach you tax efficiency, making money, setting up a company, things that matter. All right? I'll see you there. Take care of yourself in a bit.